Now, this is the third part of growth and development of drama in England. So, after these early experiments with drama, the town guilds presenting scenes from Bible or stories of Bible and stories from the lives of saints. After these initial experiments with playwriting, after these movable stages, which were drawn from one place to another, and the entire episode of Christ's life, entire story was told uh, by different I mean groups mounted on stages with wheels which were movable. So after these town guilds, uh, drama started in playhouses, and just 12 years before, just 12 years after the birth of William Shakespeare, that is in 1574, the first playhouse, uh, theatre or something, was opened in London outside the city walls, and another playhouse was very soon. So two or three playhouses were established, and again within 10 or 15 years, so many 10 to 15 playhouses sprang up because drama became very popular. It attracted many, spectators. In fact, even the queen also had her own, uh, troupe of performers. Now, in those days, it's very interesting that during the day of Shakespeare, during the 16th century, the role of the female roles were played by boys. They had to wear the female dress, and it was taken care that their voice had not cracked. It was much later, much later, that women played the role of women. So it was only after Charles II, who came back from France in 1660, and that year, that is called the Restoration Age. So it was after the Restoration Age in 1660, about 100 years after Shakespeare's birth, that in England female roles were played by female. So it took 100 years for drama to do this justice to uh, female actors. So female actors started playing female roles. So it is very strange to imagine that great roles, very complex characters like Lady Macbeth or the daughters of King Lear, uh, Goneril, Regan, Cordelia. These difficult roles were played by young boys of 14 or 15 or 16. So it's very difficult to imagine, and they must be very talented. Otherwise, Shakespeare, a man of Shakespeare's genius and talent, would not have written such complex female characters, presented such complex female characters uh, in his place. Now, I was telling you, I forgot to mention why so many history plays. Well, in 1588, it so happened that Spain sent a big navy to invade England, and in 1588, Spanish Armada tried to, attack England, and by God's grace, most of this huge army, force of uh, big battleships was destroyed by storm and natural causes. And the few of the Spanish Armada, the few boats, ships were destroyed by the able and valiant fighters of England. So this defeat of Spanish Armada by England and by natural sources, this greatly increased the prestige of England, greatly increased the prestige of Queen Elizabeth, and people, were filled with patriotic fervor. Like, uh, when India wins a major, tournament or anything, the people are suddenly filled with patriotic enthusiasm and pride. Like recently, these four female boxers, when they won India four gold medals, starting from the two-time champion, this Nikhat Jarin. She, managed to retain her gold medal, and there were three others. So even in heavyweight category, light heavyweight category, uh, Saviti, I mean, won a gold medal. So we are now full of national pride, and India has topped the medal tally for the first time because China always stood on the as first up until this time. So it's a matter of great pride that India has won so many medals and has stood first in the boxing championship. World Boxing Championship. So this was the same kind of, I mean, event. That the defeat of a Spanish Armada, I mean, aroused patriotic feelings, and people wanted to know whether there were similar, I mean, ages in the past in English history when England had, I mean, did wonderful things. So people started reading history books, and Shakespeare, being a very clever man, he was a man from an average family, and he had come to. Earn money and also earn recognition for his talent in London. So he started writing history plays based on England's history. And later on, he also wrote three plays based on the history of Rome also. So the three history plays that he wrote are Julius Caesar, Antony and Cleopatra, and Coriolanus. So this is the reason why historical plays were so successfully and were written in such great number. The defeat of the Spanish Armada, the Spanish Navy by England's forces with the help of nature, this was the reason why there was such a surge of such a strong feeling emerging in the hearts of the Londoners. So you can see that it was to present Bible to the illiterate people that drama started. But very soon, in a very short span of time, drama flourished greatly in England, and people, dramatists of great stature, I mean, were born and they brought drama to a perfection which was unthinkable. In a very short space of time, uh, it is this marvelous thing happened that English drama reached such a great height when players, drama writers like of the talent of John Lyly, uh, Marlowe, Christopher Marlowe, William Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, these great writers, uh, Kidd, Thomas Kidd, who wrote Spanish tragedy, these great writers were all living in the same age and producing great literature. And that's why, and also because there were great poets also, like Spencer was writing. And just 20 or 30 years after Spencer, John Milton came. So Milton may be considered the last of the Elizabethans. So great poetry and great drama was written, and great uh, epic poetry was also written. So poetry and drama uh, both flourished during Elizabethan age, and this is considered the golden age of English literature.